Oh, so close to me, you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Boulevard. Oh, so close to me, you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Boulevard.
man, the king, the god of this shit, Mick fucking Gage. You know how I start this off. Shout out to all my MDK gang members around the world. And I want to let everybody know, Blvd Bullies vs. the World is a podcast every Tuesday, 7 p.m. live on YouTube with my motherfucking boy, Larry the Legend. And what the Blvd Bullies are doing, they're trying to ignite a revolution within the fans to unite and make the crowds electric again. So check out the Blvd Bullies vs. the World, 7 p.m. live Tuesdays with Larry the fucking Legend. MDK all fucking day.
Oh, so Christ, may you burn in hell forever, 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 forever.
A boulevard. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blvd Bullies versus the World podcast with me, PK of the Blvd, and I am joined. What the hell? What's going on? Who's
that was my transformer. I'm sorry, I just turned it off.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, sorry.
My bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, how are you? We're Blvd Bullies versus the World. 5 minutes late for the 5-minute countdown, 5 minutes of intros, and then we get into the show. Tonight, we have on Neil Diamond Cutter on the
Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
So he's going to be on. It got me thinking about other wrestling puns. I want to talk about wrestling puns. But let me introduce the lads, the crew, the family, the bullies. We have somebody who is now trading Sunday morning donut videos with the Black family, the consigliere of the Rob Black empire, one may say. He'll punch you right in the face with one punch, just knock your ass out. He's Bad Take Bry, the merch guy.
Hello, friends. Fellow filthy fuckers.
Sup, Papa?
I forgot to mention that you've seen Big Mama's House 10 times in theaters.
If you haven't, I highly recommend it.
In theaters. Where do you find a theater to watch it 10 times?
You can watch it as many times as you want on DVD or Blu-ray.
Well, okay, now my question is real quick before we get into the other introductions. What do you own it on? VHS, Blu-ray, or DVD?
I have the Big Mama's House collection on Blu-ray.
He's got the house.
collection.
It came in
He has the actual house.
He built a theater in his mama's house.
Like to see Martin Lawrence.
The Big Mama's house.
As an old lady and play basketball with her grandson.
That's hilarious.
Also, shout out Donuts and shout out Rob Black. God damn
Hey,
it.
secondly, we have a man who spent years getting his deathmatch medical degree. He's the sole proprietor and business owner of Ringside Relics. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of outlaw wrestling. I saw you did a show last weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Ringside Sean.
What is going on, my guys? It is great to see you. Tuesdays always here live on YouTube.
And last but not least, we have my wrestling father, Showcase Showdown winner, former boat owner. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary one. Larry the Legend.
Larry.
Thank you, Pat. Each and every week you outdo yourself with that introduction for not just myself, but for Bad Take Bry and for the Deathmatch Doctor, Ringside Sean, and shout out PK of the Blvd Bullies, the motherfucker that is the goddamn anchor.
Happy to be
The
here.
anchor. If I'm the sail, if Brian is the mast, and if the Deathmatch Doctor is that fucking thing, I don't know, the stern, you're the goddamn anchor
Oh, wow.
that holds this motherfucking
It's holding
shit
us in place.
right
Hold-
now.
Make
Yeah,
sure we don't
you
move.
hold us motherfuckers in place, goddamn
Keeps
it.
weighing
us
us
stagnant.
down.
Keeps
Weighing
us
us
stagnant.
down, yeah. Keeping us in one place.
Exactly. You get it, Brian. You get it.
Thank you.
We're
What a
holding our
compliment.
asses down.
What a compliment. I hold us down for sure. So what about like Slumdog $1 Million Man?
I like Sasha Baron Corbin.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a good one. Larry, can you think of a like, can you think of a wrestling pun? Like, you got to combine two things, like, Neil Diamond Cutter.
I guess Clifford, the Big Red Machine.
Oh,
The Big
I like
Red
that.
Machine Clifford. I guess. Well, then we can accept that.
It's not easy to come up with on the spot.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
What about you, Sean?
You come up with something on the spot.
Stone Cold Steve Flossing.
See, now you've
I don't think
completely
any of us
went
really
off the rails.
understand the.
I was
Larry,
pretty close.
Larry, you get what I'm saying, right, Larry?
Yeah.
Don't ask
flossing
Larry
is
for
an
help.
adjective.
Don't go to
Flossing is
Larry.
an
Bossing,
adjective.
bossing.
Flossing is an adjective like Mike Awesome or Larry Legend. So yeah. I'll allow it.
Thank you, Larry. Spitting balls out here.
Brock Piesner is not one either. Hey, if you have a wrestling pun, you got to drop it in the chat, Like Neil Diamond Cutter is actually the perfect one.
It's so
Neil
good.
Diamond Cutter.
Cutter.
Boom.
Right.
Perfect. That's the way you want to fucking do it.
Well, I mean, he's able to cut glass, pardon the pun, because he's incorporating a professional wrestling move in his name. And in addition to that, as I so eloquently did the little da da da, he comes out to a Neil Diamond song. So it's a very much on the nose pun that is wrestling related for his title. So hats off to Neil Diamond Cutter. And my mom, who doesn't even like this shit, loves Neil Diamond Cutter for his name alone. She watched when Neil Diamond Cutter fought Madman Pondo in Fenton, Michigan. And she said, I love Neil Diamond Cutter because he comes out and he does the thing and gets up on the thing and everybody does the thing and I love him.
The honey badger. I'm
It's
very
really-
interested to know if he actually likes honey.
Yeah.
Oh, does he have a
He
pet
does.
badger?
He likes sweet things. He's a sweet guy. I'm the
He's
salty
sweet.
one.
That's
Well,
the
his
only-
song does sing
Honey
Sweet
badgers are
Caroline.
known to not be sweet though. Honey badgers are known to be the most fierce creatures in the land.
But
Are
they go after the honey primarily that bees produce, and they don't give a fuck about how many times they get stung, just for that sweet, sweet nectar.
You don't see too many horror movies about honey badgers.
I've never seen a horror movie about a honey badger.
No, but you see these awful sci-fi Sunday 1 p.m. movies that usually have like a rabid rabbit or like a crocodile in a pool. I've never seen a
Arachnophobia.
honey badger, and Brian says they're quite, dangerous.
They're known.
Well,
They're known to be.
Well, the honey badger, I guess, became popular around like that E-Bombs World time. Well, right after E-Bombs
Pork
World.
chop sandwiches?
Huh?
Pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hey, kid,
That
I'm a
time,
computer.
yeah.
Stop all the downloading.
Yeah, that time.
Yeah, you don't know.
And that guy was like narrating an actual honey badger wildlife thing, but he was doing it like super like gay, like, oh my god, honey badger didn't give a fuck. Like around that, let's get some shoes time is with the honey badger video, and people started even knowing what a honey badger was.
God damn. So that's
They'll
quite
eat your
the question
fucking
we can
face. They'll eat your
ask them
fucking
back
face
later.
right off your bone.
Well, I mean, all badgers are pretty fierce. And I don't give you a northern reticulated badger or a honey badger. Honey badger is just completely fierce because it goes after the honey from bees and doesn't give a fuck how much it gets stung while it's getting it.
Fierce creature. Fierce creature.
They look like skunks.
They're a part of the weasel family. They're all weasels. Weasels are all fierce. Mongoose, Wolverine, fucking all
Wolverine
weasels are fierce.
is a
Ferrets.
weasel?
Huh?
I didn't know a Wolverine was a weasel.
Me
It is a
neither.
part of the weasel family. It is the
Larry,
largest.
look at you. Do you work
It
in
is
like
the
a
largest. It's
wildlife?
the largest in the weasel family. Yeah.
He's got his Ranger Rick hoodie on.
Wow, there is videos on YouTube. Honey badgers versus a Wolverine. I am intrigued. I gotta see this go down.
You know, my favorite wonder of nature growing up was the Komodo dragon because I
Me
felt
too.
like
It looked
was
like a
the
real
closest thing.
dinosaur.
Yeah, it's the closest thing to a dinosaur that we had on this earth today. Is what I.
Did you ever hear of Coyote Peterson? Coyote Peterson?
The guy that goes around messing with animals.
He takes the bites and the stings.
Yeah. Like
He
an
takes
idiot.
it's for science, Sean.
Dude.
It's for
Like,
science.
what?
It's for science.
What science?
What do you mean? It's like to see what happens when you get stung by these creatures.
Sean, I'm gonna tell you. When I was a kid, I used to always fuck. I used to always fuck with hornets' nests and beehives. I used to always
Brave Wilderness.
Fuck with them just cause I wanted to see if all the hype was really real. And you know that I once was attacked by a hive of yellow jackets.
That's bro. You could have died.
Mom, yeah. My aunt saved my life.
What'd she do?
She ran outside and pulled me up on the porch away from all the wasps that were stinging me continuously. And then she got me in the house and brushed them off and killed them. And then she rubbed my body in a salve of baking soda and warm water, my entire body from head to toe. And
I'm guessing you're not allergic.
Well, you know, yellow jackets don't like sting and leave their shit in you to pump venom in you. They sting over and over again. So that's a different type of allergy than a honeybee. So no, I am allergic to bees, but yellow jackets won't kill me. If they would have been honeybees, I probably wouldn't be here.
God damn. Jeez.
Hey,
look at us.
Sean, you're getting that was our nature. It's a new nature segment here on Blvd Bullies. Sean, you're getting critical acclaim for your scathing promo that you cut last week.
That was noteworthy.
I think I'll be honest, it was long overdue because like it's cool and all to joke when Brian does silly things, because Brian will admit does silly things at times. Brian says some things that may be controversial at times, but like if Brian isn't doing anything to like poke a bear or like to start some shit, there's no reason to bring up anything that has no relevance in what's actually going on, especially when it's something that makes people fight and it gets people hot and angry. It's just like we're not doing this. We're working towards something. Everybody's working towards something. Don't be the nail in the road that causes everybody to stop, look at each other, and just like react. Clearly, we don't like each other, but we're still on the same road moving forward. Let's all move forward and go our own way and do what we do. It's WrestleMania season. You might not got time for that.
It's our people's time. Our people's time is upon us.
Yeah, out of here with that.
I guess I definitely feel you, Sean, in regards to I think that there's a big difference between purpose and intent. And if your intent is to like rabble rouse, then, you know, this is kind of what I was saying to you, Brian, about like someone else who was like in the fucking chat that we didn't even know if they were a real person or in the group. We didn't even know they were a real person, but all they contributed was like just fuel for the fire of hatred and like, fuck you. And I'm like, why are you even in the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a right, because you have a right to say some shit. Well, take that right over to a place that is accepting of it. Because I don't want to see that shit. That's why
you say that, but I also talk shit. I'm one of a person that does happen to talk shit. I make fucking offensive memes and I make fun of people all the time. So it's like, it's okay for me to do it, but not somebody else to do it.
Well, you becoming proficient in Photoshop is probably the worst thing that could have happened to the deathmatch.
Yeah, I take full responsibility in that. I take full blame and responsibility.
He gave me the app, and the app has changed my whole entire life.
I take
so essentially, Brian, what you're saying is that
I do. But yeah, right. I'm sorry. Like you go.
What you're saying is that individuals like Donald Holland, who maybe fought fire with fire in regards to your way of being, which is very cruel at times, very mean at times, very like, oh, let's not forget about this when that is not even part of the conversation. Right. That's essentially, you paved the way for individuals like that to exist, to have a voice. And even if they want to bring up shit like that disgusting display that was on our show, albeit, and be like, yeah, well, you guys remember this. And Sean says, not on my watch.
Well, Sean's, but people are allowed to have their opinions. And there's people that agree with Sean, and there's people that will disagree. But that's just the way it is. It's a fucking forum meant for people to have their opinions shared. and that's just the way it's always going to be.
I just hope I don't come out of my character like that. I don't jump out my skin like that. I don't pull off my shirt like that to address real things. I let them play out, and if it needs addressing, it needs addressing. And this did need addressing because I think we started working away from that. That was a lot to deal with. It was during the holidays. People are worked up, and it's, like you said, Brian, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But like Larry said, when you come around shaking a rattle, looking for the attention, now you turned a whole nother leaf there. Now you're not really doing it with good intentions.
It's because, but first of all, it's going to be the only thing that's mentioned when someone doesn't like us, because it's the only thing that can be spoken about badly, really, about this. That's the only thing that can be brought up about the show to talk shit. So that's when people get mad at us, it's the only thing that's going to be seen and going to be brought up regardless. And it's just the way it is.
I think that's more important. I think that's more important is Sean identifying the type of individuals that have the characteristics to bring up something like that, which is a very cruel thing to do, to make a point and to basically take what that person has to contribute with a grain of salt, to know that that person is not really here to engage in conversation, but they are here to stir the pot and to make things heated, as you said. And honestly, I think where you and I were, Brian, I was like, you should bet motherfuckers that are on this forum, because yes, it is a forum where anyone can make their opinion, but I happen to be a gay black man. So let's say someone in the deathmatch community wants to get on there and express their opinion about gay black men, including me. Yeah, you have opened up the floodgates for people to say whatever the fuck they want, and I think, Sean, it is important that people like you have the balls to check people like that and call them out on the fact that, hey, just because this is an open forum for you to say anything, you don't have to say that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I genuinely hope that is the impression that went around to anybody who came across that confrontation, because it's like, I feel like we come here every Tuesday to have fun. And when you jump in a forum like that, you should go to have fun. Find out the information you're having. Enjoy the conversation you're having. But when you go and you stir it a different way, when it has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on, then, like I said, go reevaluate yourself, because what you're doing serves no relevance. Let's contribute.
And we don't give it power. We don't give it power. I bring up the illustration once again, when, not to harken back to that dark incident, but when that got spread like a wildfire out into Twitter, when the isolated clip got recorded and shared, oh my God, 670,000 likes, 99 reposts. But anything that came out from us to address it, a smattering of, okay,
swept under the rug.
Good, yeah, okay, thanks, yeah. And so much more like, this is too late. You're trying to cover your tracks. You're not genuine. But let something that is clearly not genuine as that first brush fire start, it's like, I want this to keep going so I can get my popcorn and fucking eat. I want to get my popcorn. I'm going to fucking eat.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Blvd Bullies versus the world. It's a podcast. Tuesdays.
Where we get our popcorn and we fucking
eat. Just munch on, munch. So what else is new? Hey, let's talk about Larry's favorite part of the show.
The giveaways.
The giveaways.
Give it away now.
Last week's giveaway was these beautiful Dr. Redacted cards. Brian, is that accurate?
Yes, Dr. Redacted card pack. It's the ICW Series 3 card and the very uncreative Pro Wrestling Junkie card. That's the exact same image.
Probably the last series of cards. Probably the last series of cards from ICW that struggles. The everyday struggles touches probably right there. Eh?
Hold on, Sean. Are you about to admit that you were the creative director on this card?
No, I was, and then I purchased the photos to be used, and then come to find out that the photos that the cards that were actually printed were of photos that I had no idea were purchased and used for the cards. So no, those were not the photos that I used. And not the idea that was actually used for the card either, but that is neither here nor there.
Brian, do you want to tell the people at home how they win each week's giveaway?
Well, to win these cards, you would have had to comment on last week's show. And what we do is we take the comments that are on the video and we write them on paper, and then we rip the paper up and put them into a Newport box, shake it up, and then the random winner is the winner of the prize, which is these now cards redacted.
Shake it up.
Dr. Redacted cards. All right, comments from last week. T. Curley says, I'm not going to lie. I'm just trying to win that sweet, sweet Dr. Redacted card. Hopefully, Rob Black's mittens will ship him right over.
Motherfucker.
Right,
Wow.
I think that they're referring to you.
Wow. Wow.
We like mittens on this show.
We love mittens.
Brew members only says Sean is just out here standing on business. Well spoken, sir. Another supporter of Sean. Wesley says, I will win one of these giveaways one week. God damn it.
Oh, I like that comment on YouTube. I like that one.
Love the
Positive,
show.
baby. Positive. I love
the
it.
show, guys. Jedi Joe, co-host of the flagship show, 8 p.m. on Thursdays, says, someone cancel these guys already. Content is better on Thursdays.
Boo.
Cancel?
Canceled.
Joe,
Brent.
we're going to be in your town real soon, brother. And don't be surprised if we show up at your front door, all right?
Yeah, we might.
Don't be surprised.
Sean's going to beat you to the super shop. Every thrift, every place that you go, Sean's going to be there before you. Bren says, I'm not used to seeing Brian without his evolution jacket and tie. No one picks on Begins. The guy is the nicest dude I've had the pleasure of talking to in my DMs. And Sean showing that he's a real one defending Bry. That was awesome. Sleepy Larry is back, and Pat was on his
Larry.
A game this episode. A game. Thank you, Bren. Horror, Pain, Gore, Death says Larry was 100% on point in Houston, because we spoke about your Houston Four Loco jaunt for XPW, Larry, last week. Larry and Ron are the dream team and enhance everything. Was cracking the fuck up when Larry told Ron to call it Spook Dust. What happened at the end of that set? That at the end that set Larry off? Was it the crowd fucking around? Well, we mentioned it here on the program, and the deathmatch community obviously followed suit. The guy with the megaphone, instead of yelling his taunts into the megaphone as, used in nature, he actually was just playing the alarm sound, the canned alarm sound, which was very not creative and very, very annoying.
That.
Everybody hated that.
Hey, I'll answer that. What set me off was that the person that was playing the sound, like literally the second that Schlack beat Dmitry Alexandrov, mind you, I'm commentating and I have to like hold the microphone up to announce. I also have to use my hand and ring the bell. Like the second the match was over, that person was yelling at me, "Ring the bell!"
No.
I'm at the end, guys. I'm at the end. I didn't get to say it's about to go down because the mic mysteriously went out. All of a sudden the mic's out right before it's time for me to say it's about to go down.
Classic.
Okay, mic's back for the end. And this person is telling me the second the ref counts 3, and I'm standing up to take my headset off to do my job, and I'm going to ring the bell. Ring the bell!
Sounds
so yeah,
like
I was over my night. By that point, I was over my night.
I guarantee you this, Larry, that won't be happening come February 24th in Newark at the Hart Ballroom. I'm showing up with my goddamn clipboard, and everything that should be taken care of well before doors open will be checked off that goddamn clipboard. Mark my words.
Are we all doing turtlenecks? Are we doing turtlenecks?
And you know what? I won't be late.
And if you are, Sean's he's gonna take away some of your gold stars.
And I'm gonna say Larry is never late. He is exactly on time whenever he arrives.
That's right.
God damn it.
Larry is always exactly on time whenever he arrives. God damn it. Do you guys all want to dress like Rob Black and wear turtlenecks?
Yes.
I'm into it. I'm into that. Sean's got the
Oh, I never thought that, Pat, but that might be a good look for me.
Yeah.
That might be a good,
Yeah, you know, I
look
think
for
it's
me
the
to host
age
the
of the
show, dude.
turtleneck. I think, you know, and you know who else? The Rock made headlines with his turtleneck. You know, he showed up looking like Lex Luthor to this fucking TKO thing. And I feel like Rob is onto something. And the turtleneck is on its way back. It's a mock turtleneck. It's not a full. You'd go like a mock.
What's a mock turtle?
It's
That's
very
like a half. That's
February.
like a
It's
half.
a very February turtleneck, like the month of February.
No, we got to go full turtleneck where it goes where it's like a little curl. It's like tall.
Little
and like
curl
curl.
You want
right?
like
Yeah.
in sync
Little
turtleneck.
what is it called? A cuff. It's got a cut. It's like fully cuffed.
All right, so we're going full turtle.
Yeah.
Full turtle cuff. Yeah.
Larry, will you
he's gonna be
agree?
so happy.
Now, Larry, I know that you like to normally do the bow tie tuxedo types dealio. I feel like you could still
It would
have
be
an
different.
iconic sport coat,
Mhm.
a blazer.
Oh yeah.
You can still have really nice shoes,
What is it, velvet?
but underneath the turtle.
Turtleneck.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. What is the color? What's the color
Black.
scheme of
Black?
Alive and Kicking?
Black.
Black
And red.
red and white.
Maybe some burgundy.
Ooh,
Burgundy.
little Berg.
Little Berg. Little Merlot. Little Vino.
I don't know.
Larry,
We can put on a turtleneck with the
All right.
jack.
Are we
Look
going?
at
What
the
happened to the
jacket.
giveaway? What happened to the giveaway? Damn it!
One,
Oh, yeah,
a
that.
few more
My
comments.
favorite part.
It gets me excited.
Tony Norman is very excited about Sean's. Sean, you were the most popular segment on the show last week.
Thank you.
Sean says, "Grow up or get tuned up."
Word.
And, Axel Knows. That's a pretty good pun. Axel Knows says, Johnny Laurinaitis definitely enjoyed the Vince McMahon shit stew. I'll bet anything that the Bognio troll account is Chad Mines. It seems to fit a little bit too perfectly. Do you guys care to weigh in on if the fake account is Chad Mines as I rip up these names and put them into the Newport box?
I feel
What?
that there's no shame in Chad Minnie's game, so why would
Hell
he
no.
create a burner to say
Yeah, Chad-
anything that he wouldn't be afraid to say just as Chad Minnie's?
Yeah, Chad don't need a burner.
Yeah.
And Chad Minis also works for GCW, and is that account is now heavily talking shit about Brett Lauderdale and GCW. So
Is this the same account that is very ICW?
right, it's pro ICW and it's pro Brett it's pro because everything it's talking about is talking shit. It's not being
Pro.
serious. It's pro.
What's the guy's name?
Alan Bognio.
Alan Bosnia. Yeah, there you go.
That's my. I made the my
Why can't it be
ICW
Bogino?
t-shirt. It could be.
Bogino.
That's just how I pronounce it.
Bosnio.
Bosnia.
Whatever.
It's
Bognio.
Bosnia.
Bosnia. Whatever. For my ICW t-shirt submission is Alan Bognio's head posted onto Wonder Woman with the little ICW logo on it.
What do you mean your submission? You submitted a design?
Well, I didn't actually submit it. I just made it as a
Oh.
joke.
Oh
I made
my
it as
God.
a joke because there is a contest.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, bro, don't do that.
So, Brian, I'm still formulating and tabulating this Newport box. Could you tell the people at home what you're referring to as far as the quote-unquote contest goes?
Well, you want to talk about this now? This is not the deathmatch drama.
Hi, Amanda.
Let's just talk about it
Hilarious
right
as well.
now.
All right, there's a contest because ICW didn't want to go to their team. They're going to their fans to design them a T-shirt that they will use for their next design, and the winner gets $100 gift card and the shirt that they designed, and that's the contest.
It's kind of like
A
when
gift card. A gift
You get
card.
a IC. Well, I don't even think it's $100 worth of ICW merchandise.
Oh, so they don't get to pick. And
I mean,
shop
it could be a gift card or it's a bundle, $100 bundle or gift card, what the fuck ever.
it's like when Wes Borland quit Limp Bizkit. So Fred Durst did a contest throughout all of Guitar Center. Hey, who wants to be? Just go to your local Guitar Center, and who wants to try out to be Limp Bizkit's new guitar player? Just sign this release. And the release was like, okay, we own all your riffs now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like
Well,
when
I just
Fred
think it's
Durst
fun-
needed a new guitar player. He went to Guitar Center, tried to find a guitar player at Guitar Center, And ICW, they need a new merch design guy. Why not put the fans to work?
I mean, makes complete sense. They're losing.
They have a loyal.
They're
They have a
losing all
very
their
loyal.
wheels.
They have a very loyal fan base, thanks to me.
Yeah, did you guys know that Chris Van Vliet took an Impaler DDT by Gangrel and was knocked out like cold?
Who's Chris Van?
Was it on the floor?
Was it
No, it
on
was
the
in the
cold,
ring.
hard concrete?
No, it was in the ring. So when you take a DDT, obviously you're supposed to put your arm out and you smack down when you hit that canvas, right? So you brace your fall. This guy legit was like head first, like Wile E. Coyote falling off a cliff. You know, he gets the big lump. That was insane.
Good.
My mom just sent it to me, actually. That was
Guy's an
pretty funny.
idiot.
I mean, Sean, you know, we watch it, and we also play the games. And if you play the games and you played any like reputable game that had to fucking create a wrestler, you know, it showed you. It showed you.
You drop
Sean,
them right
that
on their
clip's
head.
from 2 years ago.
My mom just sent it.
Who's Chris Van Vliet?
Brian, are you
This show's
serious?
a fucking mess, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Also,
look,
last
now,
week, Larry,
hold
you were
on,
talking
hold
about
on,
going to Wale
hold on.
Mania. Wale
Hold
Mania is
on.
exactly at the same time as the show that we're doing.
Oh, fuck. We're going to Schlackomania.
All right. My birthday, damn it.
The Van Vliet video from 2 years ago. Wale Mania is the same time as our show.
Whatever.
No
Their
way.
loss. They're not going to have us there.
No way.
They're not going to have
Wale
Madman
Mania is
Pondo or No
Thursday,
Life Louie
4-4.
either.
4-4.
Wale Mania is Thursday,
4-4.
4-4.
4-4.
4-4. Hey,
My fault,
the winner
Remember that, Larry?
of this
My
week's
fault.
giveaway is Wesley Snipes.
Fucking Blade out here.
Nino Brown in the house.
Wesley
All right, so now-
Easter 3951. I will win one of these giveaways this week, goddammit. Well, this week's your fucking week, dude.
Do you want to see what the... Oh, well, so he won the Dr. Redacted card pack,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
So now we're going to show this week's giveaways for next week.
Excellent
What is it?
idea.
Right. So this week you can win these DVDs. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh,
That's
what a
great
classic.
one.
Rush Hour 2.
What's part 1?
Shut up, Sean. Sin City.
Oh, Frank
It's a
Miller.
sin.
And
It's a sin
also
city to give them
a
Rush Hour 2
fucking
and not 1.
GCW Frisbee.
Brian,
Frisbee.
you're giving them a frisbee and not Rush Hour 1 to then jump into Rush Hour 2?
I'm sorry that I'm providing you with entertainment. Why do I have to give them the whole series?
You're going to give them the second one without the first? When does that even begin?
Rush Hour 2 is
It's
widely
a gift.
regarded as.
It's a gift, Sean. If they like the second one, then first of all, you don't need to see the first one to know what's going
Well, they
on
can
in the
stand
second
But
alone.
you
one.
do. You do.
No, you don't really.
There was a proper introduction to Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan's role. You're going to deprive these people of that said introduction by just giving them part 2? That's a travesty.
I think you're taking this giveaway way too seriously.
It
It's
is a
just
Sin
nice
City.
movies. It's just nice movies, Sean.
You're forgetting the sin of giving them
I
Rush
remember
Hour 2
Sin
without
City.
1.
No, I think that it's a nice gesture.
What,
Give people things
what
for
was
free.
Sin City 2 called? Wasn't it a whole other type of name?
What
Wasn't it a whole other type of name?
What
To
a
be fair,
random
Rush
combo.
Hour 1, 2, and 3 are good movies. Sin City 2, not as good as Sin City 1.
There was
So
a
So
Sin
why would
City
you
2.
give it away?
Right, exactly, Patrick.
I-
Rush Hour 2 and 3 are both. There's going to be a Rush Hour 4. Did you know that? They're making another one. So get
So-
ready. This is to get yourselves
He
prepared,
just
guys.
sends his trash to you for you to throw away.
I'll say if you want to throw them away, you can do whatever you want. You can shove them
Yo,
up
that
your ass.
GCW frisbee is pretty
For
dope.
all I
though.
care.
I mean,
Right.
Brian loves Big Mama's house, so I imagine he's probably got all of the Rush Hours.
I do. I have them on
Like-
Blu-ray, motherfucker.
I know. That's what I'm
So
saying.
hold
Like,
on,
he's
hold
probably
on,
already
hold
got
on.
them shit.
Do you have
Got
every
the Big
Rush
Mama's
Hour
house
Blu-ray
on
now?
Blu-ray too.
I've had them. I've had them on Blu-ray, Sean. I'm just
Okay.
now giving these away out of the kindness of my heart.
So you don't have Rush Hour 1
Not on DVD.
Yes, he does on Blu-ray.
On Blu-ray, I have it. Yes, on my collection, I have the whole series. So now I'm giving this to somebody. So to start their collection, I'm helping them out.
Sean,
it bothers me so much that you're giving away the second movie and not the first.
Well, that's how good
it
is.
It bothers me that it bothers you that I'm giving my things away.
You know, Sean.
I think, Sean, you know what I think you're doing? Do you know what I think you're doing right now?
What?
I think you're Donald Hollidaying.
Oh!
You're Donald
Hollidaying
this fucking giveaway. Like,
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm entitled to my own opinion.
You're swooping in, and you're like, Rush Hour 2.
Oh, 2. Everybody knows Rush Hour 2 is great.
Right. Thank you. They're all great. They're great
Sean,
movies.
As soon as Blu-ray was invented, Brian left his house and sprinted down to Best Buy and was like, "Do you have Rush Hour 2 on Blu-ray?" And that was the first.
It was Big Mama's house was the first one. Do you have Big Mama's?
Do you have Big Mama's house? All right, fuck. All right, give me Rush Hour 2.
Yo, Paul Giamatti, Martin Lawrence, fuck out of here. That's great shit.
You know what's a good Martin movie? Blue Streak.
Oh,
I like Blue Streak.
Top tier shit.
All right.
I have that on Blu-ray.
Blue Streak. You never seen Blue Streak?
Right.
That's where he pretends to be a police officer.
Blue Streak was right.
He's a bank robber. He's a robber. He's a diamond thief.
He was about to be broke, right?
Before he ran out into L.A. with the gun. It was right. Blue Streak was like right before.
Dave Chappelle's in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Good Martin Lawrence movie.
They're all fucking good. Remember Martin, the show?
No, they're not all good. They're not all good.
Do you remember Martin?
Black Knight. Remember Black Knight?
Black Knight is not good.
That's a great movie, Larry.
Black Knight is dope. Black Knight is dope.
Thank you, Sean.
Black Knight is dope.
Yeah, I agree.
Something I didn't realize about Brian before today is that he loves African American cinema.
He does?
He's a huge fan.
Did you watch Showtime?
African Americans make great comedy movies, dude. Richard first of all,
I knew you were about to say it.
Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Cow of blacks is Richard Pryor.
Dude, Hear No Evil, See No Evil is definitely got to be
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor together.
Gene Wilder was white.
Yes.
Hold on.
Well, I'm saying they were a comedy duo. Damn it.
They both had froze, Patrick.
Facts.
That's very important.
Okay.
It's fucking facts.
I see that you guys didn't get the joke. Hey, I got Character Productions jumping in with a $5 super chat. Sean, I'm just as confused as you. Who gives away just part 2 and not come correct?
Just get off of it already, goddammit. Can't you understand that we're being nice and giving things away?
Have you ever seen Rush Hour 1, Brian?
Sure.
Dude, I actually saw Rush Hour 1 in the movie theater with my uncle. My dead uncle brought me to see Rush Hour in the movie theater.
My dead uncle's hoodie.
Cheap suits.
My dead uncle's bongos are in the room.
Cheap suits.
My dead uncle brought me to see Big Mama's House to the movie theater too. 3 times in the same day.
Big Mama's House.
3 times in the same day, 10 times in total. Damn it!
Was your uncle like? Come on, Brian. Again?
He loved the movie. He showed me. My uncle is the man that showed me all the movies that I love. He showed me Abbott and Costello movies. He showed me the Laurel and Hardy movies. He showed me the Gene Wilder. My Honeymooners was my mom. I shout out my mother for Honeymooners. That's my mom thing.
My mama said
movies, uncle.
All right, we got Neil Diamond Cutter joining us in 10 minutes. I want to quickly touch on the big deathmatch news of the week. There's still a lot to cover, so we're going to jump back into some current events as well after Neil leaves the program. But did you see that Mick Foley announced that he is going to be turning 60 years old at some point next summer?
I genuinely thought he was older than that.
And he wants to, his 60th birthday is approaching. And he wants to lose 100 pounds and do one final match, a death match. I think he's definitely going to get injured either attempting to lose 100 pounds or by after losing 100. Like, trying to lose the 100 pounds might fucking kill this guy. And then to take a bump on those hips, minus 100 pounds of cushion, I'm worried for the man's well-being. You guys hear this?
I think that if he does it, he's gonna do a very safe death match. I think it's gonna be a very safe one.
Did you guys see Matt Tremont? What Matt Tremont did?
Yes.
Big news. Did you see Larry?
Mm-mm.
He wore a shirt that said 6/7/25 date.
Mick
June
Foley's,
7th,
Mick Foley's
2025.
60th birthday.
60th birthday. Went bang bang.
Bang bang.
So he's calling his shot here.
He said, "I'm
also
using
conspiracy.
Power.
I just got a 6/7 tattoo, and it's also the day that I will be married this year. So it's a whole conspiracy with the Jews, Matt Tremont, and Mick Foley.
Shit.
Oh, damn.
Are you gonna pull Corey Matthews on your wedding day?
2 places at one time. I might just have it played on the screen.
That's what happened at the show as well. It was played on the screen, but he chose to be in 2 places at once.
It's too far. I think that's too far. If it's against Matt Tremont, it's most likely at H2O. First, I can't see that happening.
I don't think it's against Tremont. I think it's going to be in the showboat.
Mick Foley said when he announced that he wanted to partake in a death match for his 60th birthday, that it would be his thoughts would be Moxley or Matt Cardona, which I thought made. I mean, it makes the most sense. They're like the most.
Listen, I'll be honest. If I'm him, it's my 60th birthday. I'm a death match legend, and I want to get back in the ring, and I want to do the dance again. I'm gonna want to be able to draw numbers.
Tarazep.
And with all due respect to H2O and Matt Tremont, I don't think that they could pull as many numbers as they'd like in that building. With that
There's
being
only
said,
one.
GCW has the showboat where they now have that entire where they used to house the buses.
The white void.
It's the space in there is wild. You know what I'm saying?
Who's to say it won't be Matt Tremont at Showboat?
Who's to say it won't? But I think if it is GCW run, it will be against a Cardona who will have the same effect like an Edge fighting a Foley.
In historical terms, it would be more important and dope for Tremont to have the match with Mick Foley. Do you imagine the promo that this man cuts?
Oh my God, it'll be heartfelt.
I'm crying already thinking about it.
It'll be heartfelt.
God, he already got the T-shirt made.
I think it has to be against a Gage. It has to be against a Cardona.
Right. Even Moxley is at least like a CZ. At least goes back to that lineage, and he's like at the top level. So I feel like Moxley might be the most.
I just think that what you guys are failing to realize, and Larry, I want to get your take. I'm sure that you'll agree with me. Is that Mick Foley? He's just a selfless guy. He wants to leave the business better off than when he found it. And these guys, John Moxley, Matt Cardona, Matt Tremont, Nick Gage, these guys, they're great right now. They're established right now. But what about the future of deathmatch wrestling? What about where we're going to be in 20, 25 years?
You're going hard right now.
And I think that the only answer is Tarazep, the future of deathmatch wrestling, as proclaimed by Mick Foley Claus himself at the Heart Ballroom. I think that's the only reason. I think
Tarazep in the chains?
Yes, there's going to be in the chains.
Tarazep in the chains. She rubbed his little knees and got him to have his final death match.
Did she rub the knees in the chains?
She might. I believe that there was knee rubbing.
Well, I'm just saying. that Mick Foley,
it's just not realistic.
That's his favorite going right now. I think that's probably standing in that ring, doing that spot, probably what gave him the fire, the juices, got the juices flowing.
He did a GCW thing, right?
Larry,
he opened for Mox and Gage in October.
Was he the special?
I cannot
believe he brought him to the ring.
He commentated too, right?
I believe he did. I was there, so I wouldn't have heard it. I know he did autographs after the show was finished, but he was there in the capacity.
He didn't do a spot though. He didn't do a spot. Just
he was just there. Like, this is big. This means something. We do care, Pat. That's what I'm talking about. God damn it.
So what I'm trying to get at, Larry, is I want Larry to tell me which way that you feel Mick's juices are flowing. And give me like the top 3 most probable combatants for Mick Foley. By the way, a year and a half from now.
I know because I know people that have talked. The Mick Foley has open communications with no holds barred. I don't know. I think, Sean, you brought up a good point that Foley has already been to the showboat, sees the crowd that they draw, and maybe knowing the savvy snake that Brett is, he already sowed the seeds to say to him when he did that one show where he announced Gage versus Mox, hey, if you ever get that itch, look at this crowd. I could see Brett doing something like that. But my insider edge tells me that the lines of communication with Mick Foley are going to lead him to the chains.
Mittens.
You really think so?
Cruel.
It could happen. It could happen. It most certainly could happen. Look,
he's fucking Santa Claus. He doesn't care about the money and the views. He just wants to do
what's
best.
Yeah, but think of it like
Put it
this, dude.
Put it this
Imagine
way.
how many. Go ahead, Larry.
Put it this way. Put it this way. Brett got him to announce something. Danny has him doing double arm DDTs.
Look at those honey badger nipples.
Hey, Neil.
Well.
Hey.
He's connecting. He's connecting.
Connecting.
Oh, there it is.
I just want to wave to him.
Now he can hear us now. Can you hear us now?
Hey, Neil.
All right, Neil.
There you go. Now, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen,
there we go.
Joined by the Honey Badger himself, the greatest wrestling pun name ever, Neil Diamond Cutter. What's up,
Yeah,
Neil?
you're on the money, Brian. You're always on the money, brother.
So I'm trying to get all this work. There we go. Now I can see all you guys. Trying to get all the Zoom stuff figured out. I haven't used Zoom in so long.
Yeah,
Feel so old.
We're a little bit behind the times. You know, I'm sure there's a new hot technology that we're not using.
Zoom's pretty modern. Zoom's pretty modern. Come on. God damn it.
Zoom you use for like business meetings and like you need like 40 people in it.
That's right.
You know, so it's a good communication tool. Just been a while, you know. So what's going on, guys?
How are you? How are you feeling?
I took an oxy about an hour ago, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like I don't feel all the pains. I did find something weird in my arm though. You can see that bump there.
Yeah.
Is it a piece of glass?
Can you pop it?
There you go.
Ooh.
No, not yet. I think it's a piece of glass that just got in there and just sealed over.
So you just recently your match, your 700 light tubes match just won Death Match of the Year on the Jobber Radio Death Match Awards. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm a mark for all that kind of stuff. I like watching podcasts.
It was a dope ass video.
Other people's. Yeah, man. The only thing I think I should have been included on was the international list because I went around the world all last year, but I get it. I didn't win that many titles. I wasn't involved in many tournaments last year because of the travel. So,
you crushed last year, dude. Honestly, it was your first time going to Australia and Japan.
Yeah, dude. Every country I've been to last year was the first time like leaving the country in general. So that's why like for a while there, I was like, I dare you to name someone else who has made it around the world in one first time out going around everywhere in one consecutive year. Like I'll wait. The only person I can think of is Casanova Valentine. He's the only other dude I know of that has made it around the world in like one go and hit all these places. So yeah. And it was a wild, wild year. Very tiresome. Like most the glass I'm pulling out now probably is from all those trips out of country and shit because the glass is different and whatnot,
Wow.
Why did it? What took so long for you to get out of the country and travel? Like, what happened this year that got the passport getting stamped?
Well, I got my passport in 2022, so finally got it all worked out. And like a couple of the places like I had already worked out, like Canada, I knew I was going to do. And I knew I was going to Scotland. Like those two places already, they told me as soon as I had a passport, I was booked. I was like, okay, cool. So I knew I had those two lined up. But at the beginning of the year, like first match out of the gate, I break my fucking arm. And I'm just like, ah, shit. You know, unbeknownst to me that entire weekend, I had no idea my arm was broken until a week later.
That's wild.
But I break my arm. I'm thinking it's swollen. Chrissy slides up to me and she's like, you think you can go tomorrow? I was like, I don't have an option. Like, if it's broke, it's broke. If it's not, it's not. Like, I have no option. I have to face Sakuda tomorrow. No one's taking that spot. I don't care if it's broken or not. Like, I'll break it square in half. It doesn't matter. And did that. A week later, I was at home just kind of like, you know, rubbing it, thinking it's a muscle or bone. And I hear click, click, click.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, shit. Went down here, click, click, click. I was like, it's broke. Literally walked into the ER and they're like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I broke my arm. Are you sure? I'm like, yep. I know for a fact it broke. And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, squeeze, it clicks. And the thing that threw them all off was the lack of expression I had on my face. I didn't really feel a whole lot of it. Not until I put my arm out like this, like straight ahead. And then when you start to rotate it like this, your bones move inside your forearm area.
It's like when they made him hold the hockey stick.
Yep. And I was able to get to about here. And I was like, okay, now it's starting to tug a little bit. Still showing no emotion. And I was still able to rotate my arm almost all the way over. Shit. And that threw everyone off because they're like, you should be able to rotate your arm if it's broke. And I was like, I just don't feel it. It's like a 3, like it's a nuisance. Like I could go to work and work on this. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah.
Have you ever always had a strangely high pain tolerance where like you're like, oh, this is a 3, and they're like, yo, this.
Bro, I had your normal Midwest like upbringing. Like we had bottle rocket wars. You know, we played tackle football on concrete. You know, we're idiots. You know, and like the reason why I don't drink a lot anymore is because when I was in middle school, I drank every weekend. Like I was drinking just to drink because I had older friends and whatnot, and just over time of being a dumbass and doing dumb things and being thrown off of roofs and stuff like that. Like, you know, you just kind of get used to it.
Now you became Neil Diamond Cutter in 2008, right? You started wrestling as Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Cutter. What were you? Were you something before Neil Diamond Cutter?
Oh, I had a bunch of dumbass names. Larry, you'll like this one. I think I've told you this one, but I was Sly, the redneck extremist. You know, being a dumbass just being a dumbass kid in the early 2000s. Like, I looked up, okay, what's extreme? Looked up the word extreme in the dictionary, like extremist. I'm like, okay, a radical person of a certain view. I'm like, okay, that's me. I'm like, well, I'm a redneck. At the time, I still walk everywhere, but even during summer, like I would get a really, really red neck from it because I'd wear t-shirts all the time and to walk everywhere. So I'm constantly getting sunburned. So I just put 2 and 2 together. My nickname is Sly and redneck extremist Sly. I'm like, okay, that works. That's enough to get the attitude across. I'd come out with a cigar and shit in buildings I'm not supposed to be smoking in and stuff. Like I was an asshole. And then they're known as St. Louis Anarchy now, but back in the day they were Lethal Wrestling Alliance, and that's actually where I got my start with like Gary J and shit. There I was Seamus O'Flannery because they said if I stood like this, I looked like the Notre Dame mascot.
Name Fighting Irish.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you exactly. See, Pat's got it.
Yeah.
But like I watched Boondock Saints so many times trying to get that accent down, and like I just butchered it every time. Eventually, I was like, I can't do this no more.
It was a
firefight. Call for the day of the Irish for ya. Like I'm good at impersonating people and doing like little phrases, but I can't do like independent speech in certain accents. I think Australian's the only one I can kind of hang on to, but even that's kind of a stretch. It goes into that Irish jarble mouth snatch Brad Pitt kind of speech.
Neil, I have one more question for you. Very, very important question that I just thought of. What's a worse sequel? Boondock Saints 2 or Rush Hour 2?
Ooh. To be fair, I like the sequel to Boondock Saints, and I like Rush Hour 2.
All right. Okay.
The only thing I would say is I wouldn't give a sequel away in a package of 3 when you don't have the first one included in it.
God damn it, Neil!
Everybody knows.
Hey, bro.
Shut your mouth.
Hey,
Neil.
bro.
Smoke
You
your
can't
joint.
go to a $5 bargain bin at Walmart and expect to find just one movie. You got to find all of them, dude.
It's not about
come on.
giving away the trilogy of Rush Hour. It's about giving away a trio of enjoyable, entertaining movies. God damn it.
Okay, what's enjoyable about say forgetting Sarah Marshall, huh? I think you just picked that because you get to see a penis in it.
Well, that's the enjoyable.
People like penis.
See, Larry
Neil
knows
Diamond.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude, I do. That was
Yeah.
my favorite out of the 3. I'd be like, I'll be positive.
Larry, when did you and Neil first meet?
No shit.
We first met at NHB, the Bloodshed. Was it the first Bloodshed, Neil, or?
Yeah, it was the second.
First pit.
That makes sense.
Was it?
Was it in the barn?
It wasn't the barn. We didn't see Neil at the
It was
barn.
the Bloodshed.
But it wasn't
the second time at the Bloodshed.
The second time. It wasn't the time we were there, Patrick.
Yeah, it was the second time because we had it was Pit Fighter X or whatever, Pit Fighter X2. Because at 3 I faced Dale Patrick, and that was my second time in the cage, in the pit. So
first time was Nolan. Was your first time Nolan or Oren?
No. Eric Ryan was my pit fighter opponent, and then I had Drexel the next day.
Ooh.
Yeah, Drexel was fun. I got to say all my holy roller jokes and stuff. Like I like doing stuff like that, making puns while I'm beating someone up. It's fun.
Yeah, I remember after that weekend,
shit.
Danny and everyone was very high on you after that weekend. Like, he's the guy.
It seemed like everyone was high on me, like as I showed up, because everyone was real excited. They kept doing the song, like Danny sang it with me in the back, and I just looked at him. I'm like, man, you really like this song, don't you? He's like, dude, it's fun. I'm like, yeah, that's the point of it. Fun before chaos. Like that's what throws everyone off about it is they're like, oh, this figure's this dumb little white boy. And then I go out there and I do crazy white boy shit and fucking just make the ring a complete and utter mess and show you what the human body can endure. And everyone's like, why do you come out to that calm song? I'm because you're about to see fucking carnage. You're about to see a live car wreck.
That's right.
What does it mean to you to be an entertainer? Because to have a theme song like that is just, you're tapping into another part of entertaining that a lot of people don't reach until they're a few years in. You know, it seems that you're able to not only gravitate the crowd when you're in action, but as soon as you walk through the curtain. So what does it mean for you to be an entertainer?
Well, overall, like the one thing I always do is I'm always going to be telling David versus Goliath. Only in the last like maybe 4 years has it really turned into more like guys want me to come out and like test how much they can take from me. And I'm like, no, I'm the endurance test. Like, I'll take everything you got thrown at me, including the kitchen sink, and I'll still get up and start punching you. Like a honey badger, very, very ruthless, very fearless. Like the Guinness Book of World Records holds the honey badger the most fearless animal in the kingdom.
Oh.
And like you'll see videos about honey badgers taking on lions and fucking packs of hyenas and shit like that. And like that's where I got the whole I don't give a fuck, like don't care. And if you've noticed over the time I've gone by that moniker, it's just gone more and more extreme as time has gone on. You know, I just got needles put through my nose and my mouth. When I went to Japan, he put it through my hand. And instead of just pulling off like that and pulling the needles off the chair, no, I grabbed the needles and I pulled my hand through the needles.
Oh.
And it got a big reaction from the Japan crowd. They were hyped for it. I was like, yeah, I'll never do this again, but yeah. This sucks, but yeah. But like to be able to go out there and just show people like what it means to me, like I like to think that any international date I had, like I wasn't really a character. I was just being me, because at that point, like you got to show people who you really are sometimes, so then they want to care about you.
I hear that.
And that's all I do whenever I go out is I just put my heart on my sleeve sometimes or I adjust my attitude. If you look at the match with Mouse, I'm not relaxed. I'm very, very defensive, very ready to fight at any moment because I can't take my eye off of him. Even when they announce me, I just stand there and you see I'm ready to just charge at him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very out of character for me. And to see how people get like, when for some reason when I get serious in the ring and you hear my voice get down to a guttural, like, come on, boy, that kind of shit. People tend to get quiet for some reason. And I never understood that until it dawned on me one day, like, oh, people probably think this is becoming like super real.
Yeah.
Because like they hear the anger coming out. They know I'm not here to play around no more. Like, nah, this is over. You're fucked now.
That's what makes me always like say like this guy's tapping into something different because like there's not many performers that can get in the ring or get in the change or get in a pit and verbally communicate with the crowd to make them be like, oh my God, is he really like upset at him? Did he just do something to make him, want to hit him harder? What the hell's going on? And like you kind of carry them through a story while you're out there. No matter how much time you have, you're opening a book for them. And by the time you leave, you make sure you close that book for them. So it's a very beautiful thing to see. Not many people can do it.
I've been called. Go ahead, Larry.
God, yeah. No, you go.
Go ahead, Larry. You're gonna compliment.
No, I was
me.
gonna say just to piggyback off of what Sean said. I remember when we were down in San Antonio for the 2 No Holds Barred shows. On that first night, you fought Masada, and then I remember on the second night, Masada fought Akira. And in both of those matches, it was kind of like a bigger guy versus a smaller guy. But because you vocalized so much more during that battle. And Masada's another guy that as the battle goes on, you hear more like, out of him as he's laying his shit in. It just was like a way, just more captivating performance. Because like Sean said, the beauty of the audio coming out of these fighters as they're tearing each other apart.
Yeah, like if I'm capable of making fun of what you wear as you're beating me up, like you're obviously not beating me up enough. Or like
right.
I faced a newcomer, like I was Lindsay Snow's first like legit death match. Like I held a tube up against my chest, like, come on, like hit me. And she thought I was crazy. I was like, no, you don't understand. This is what you have to do. Like I'm teaching you something while trying to be entertaining to others. Like I know this is what people want. You don't understand that, but this is what you're going to have to do. And by the end of the match, she understood what she had to do to take me out, kind of thing. To my deficit, I tried to be as entertaining as possible. Because some people don't get that. They don't understand. Like, nah, you better come at me full tilt from the jump. Because if you don't, like, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to get you, and then I'm going to do something really, really bad to you. It's not going to turn out well.
Important.
I got a question, Neil. You the one and only time that I saw you was against Dr. Redacted at the Chains. I think it was 40.
Oh,
that was 40.
Yeah, he broke. And when he threw the chair at me, he broke my arm.
So that was and you were talking about how that, like, when you were in ICW, there was high praise and they loved you. They sang your song. So I was just wondering why we haven't seen you very often in ICW since that time.
Oh, for whatever reason, Danny doesn't need me right now. That's really what it comes down to. Like, I would prefer to get certain ends on the deal different, but like he can't do certain things. So like I'm trying to be diplomatic about that, just because like it's no, whatever deal we do, like that's between us. Like Danny can do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to book me, he wants to book me. I said on my life of like, I don't feel I'm valued all that much in the States anymore. Like I don't get booked as often as I would like, but I understand that's the role. That's how the machine rolls sometimes. I'm never gonna be the big star. If shit happens, all I can do is go out there and be me. When John and Cologne were doing the whole best in the world thing, I was like, hello, like I've been doing this for a very long time. And the only reason why I'm not getting any kind of spotlight on it is because I'm not backed by those companies. Fair enough. I get that, you know, but all I can do is keep marching forward. So I set my goals differently now. Like instead of trying to make a permanent spot in companies now, like, no, I'm going after the names I want. I'm going after the people I'm hunting after, because that's the only way I can show people I'm any worth to anybody. You know, I miss a lot of time with my son and my family. I don't have time to worry about feds and what their, you know, what their problems are and whatnot. Like I'm facing retirement soon, so like I ain't got time for this bullshit no more. So,
have you ever fought MAGA Butcher one on? Have you and Necro fought one on?
no, 1-on-1. We had a 6-man that actually got recently posted on YouTube. Horror Slam held it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was a big 6-man. It was like me, Herzog, and I can't remember the other guy. But we had Necro Butcher, a dude with a rose, and I don't remember the third guy on their team. But like I was just nervous like normal. Like, yeah, we're doing it this way, right? He's like, yeah, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm just nervous, man. Like I've known you for so long, but I've never been in a match with you. Like, I'm just excited. That's all it is. That's Pondo. I'm the same way. Like, known him for nearly 2 decades and finally got a 1-on-1. And I was like, I get Pondo. You know, I get excited about that stuff, especially when it's people I grew up watching and shit. Like, Necro is a fucking living legend. Like, I'd love to have a 1-on-1. It would be brutal. I know I'd have to worry about my jaw a little bit, but
all right, Mount Rushmore.
Sure.
Neil, what's your Mount Rushmore of American deathmatch wrestlers?
Oh, that's a hard question, man.
We smack it on everybody. Patrick tried to get the top 5 dead or alive, but no one understood it.
Well, Sean is your resident like deathmatch expert, correct?
He's like the rest, right? He's like the history guy.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah. So who would you base this off of? Like, clearly, I tried.
This is where we hit a stump in the road. Is now, do we acknowledge the American deathmatch wrestlers, or are we only acknowledging the Japanese deathmatch wrestlers?
Well, I just make it American because when you think of Mount Rushmore, it's just great presidents throughout the years of American.
No, that's a fair.
It's just that's
a very fair assessment.
So you don't have to Mount Rushmore to you is like whoever you think is great in deathmatch wrestling throughout deathmatch wrestling history.
Okay,
for sure, Mick Foley's on it for sure, just because of everything he's done in the States and outside of it. Tremont, obviously, he has to be on it. I would say Nick Gage has to be on it.
Died.
See, this is where you get into weird territory because, like, who outside of that has done the most? And, like, for me, going to the Fed doesn't count as really a credential because, like, then you're elevated to a whole different atmosphere of celebrity kind of thing. Except for Mick Foley. He's the one exception because he did it all before it was the Fed. But that's where I would get into, like, a weird conundrum with it all because there's so many dudes. Like, you got Sick Nick Mondo, you got Wife Beater, you got Necro. as much as Necro Butcher, like even nowadays with Schlack, fucking as much as no one wants to admit it, like Ian Ron has a huge history inside of death matches. As 100%. Much as you don't want to admit it, like he could be argued to be put on there just because of what he's technically done for wrestling, for death matches.
You gotta like him.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as that 4th spot, I would have to just make it like whoever you kind of want.
You gotta choose.
Like, at that point, like
you gotta choose one. There's
only
you gotta carve it into stone. You gotta carve it into stone, Neil. This is carved.
It's carved in stone, just like Rushmore. Yes.
I don't want to say it because he shat on me and Matt's 702, but Sabu.
Oh,
like for me, it'd be Sabu because he brought a whole different elevation to it and a fearlessness that we have yet to see since. Like he's just a whole. I grew up with him. Like he's one of the dudes who inspired me to be kind of fearless. So.
It was Foley, Sabu, Gage and Tremont.
Hey, I want to get into the 700 tubes, and I want to hear what Sabu said, but we have the chat asking a question, if you won't mind. They want to know, who do you think Mick Foley should fight in his 60-year-old birthday death match, final match thing that he's talking about now? Have you heard about this, Neil?
Okay, I look at it in two different ways.
Heard about it.
If you look at it from a purely fan standpoint, Tremont.
Right.
Hands down. If you look at it from who he feels safe with, go with Cardona or whoever the other dude was. There's
Moxley.
2 dudes, right?
Yeah,
Moxley. Like, go with them. Like, you know them. You have experience with them. Like, you know, go with what you trust. You know, he obviously has a life after wrestling. Obviously, you know. But any of those 3 dudes, like, I would put my hands in all 3 of their lives. Like, I would do it without hesitating. 2 of them I have. Cardona's the only one I haven't fought. So that'd be fun. I'd actually really like to fight him in a death match, only because, like, he looks like he'd be a fantastic base. You'd see so many lucha spots come out of me out of nowhere. Like, yeah.
You mentioned Sabu. Sabu is another one who also mentioned that he's going to be coming out of retirement to have one final match. Is there any, with him being somebody that you said you liked, is there anybody you would like to see him go up against?
Neil Diamond, 700 tubes versus Sabu. Let's go.
I would definitely like to throw my hat in there just to show him, like, hey, dude, like, there's a whole history behind that kind of thing. Like, and like, Matt was, like, obviously Matt chose his opponent. There's a reason he chose me. I don't know what it is, but Matt was gracious enough to pick me to do that match with him. So, like, it holds a great deal of importance to me. And, like, there's a lot of history behind it. He doesn't know that. That's fine.
What did he say? What did he say exactly about it? Because I don't know that he shit on
it. It was just like, ugh, kind of like the noise, like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, dumb shit like that. Like, I don't remember specifically what it was, but I was just like, I ended up retweeting it. And I was like, just remember, dude, you inspired me to be the way I am. Yeah. So this is partially your fault too. So thank you. Yeah. Like that's the hard facts of it. Like, if someone goes out and does something dumbass thing with needles, like, I may have inspired that because I got needles through my fucking face. But no.
Hey, Neil, does it feel any way? Do you feel any kind of way knowing that you were New Jack's last match?
Well, like I really don't feel any like certain way about it. Like, it sucks, but like, he just went one night. Like, it was a sudden death. It wasn't something that was prolonged or something like that. So the fact that it was so unexpected, like, you know, it sucks. That's all I can say is, like, it sucks. But none of us had any clue that was going to happen. Like, it was just cool. We got to be part of a New Jack spot, you know? Like, that's the only way I really look at it. Like, I had fun in the match before he came out with Vito and Vic, and like, just had a blast with those guys. You know, he comes out, he does his thing, and that was that. You know, like, I don't know what I can do about it. No one really brings it up. Like, you're the first person that's really brought it up. That was his
last match. That was technically his last
legendary shit. It's legendary shit.
That was it. That was his swan song.
Yeah, like, I was the last dude to ever get hit in the head with a guitar by him.
Wow.
Yep. Wow.
That's fucking legendary, dude.
Have you ever watched him versus Gypsy Joe? Where he's
yeah. Yeah.
How wild is that?
It was funny. Dude, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know what was going on or what provoked all of that, but I'm like,
it just went 0 to 100 in like a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, there's an aluminum bat bouncing off of Gypsy Joe's head.
Yeah, to bring a little bit of kayfabe, like, we're in the back, we're all talking, and like, everyone's like, "You okay with this, Jack?" You know, I just look at it, I'm like, "Hey, I'm the guy who's gonna take all the shots from you," and he just looks at me like, this guy, like this little white dude. I'm just like, yeah, whatever you want to do. Like, I'm down. I'll sell whatever. And okay. And like, we just do the match. It seems like everyone's like real nervous about it. I'm just nonchalant. Like, whatever, man. Like, if he wants to kill me, he can try. Like, I won't have any control out of it because I'm just gonna utterly trust him. Like, that's all I can do. And he did fine. I knew it was okay when he left his feet. Once he left his feet, I knew I was in the clear. Because I was like, all right, cool. He's not trying to kill me. He's just trying to do his thing and get out. Took the thing, out, done, over.
You're safe.
Got to the back.
Safe.
Yeah, I got to the back. I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'm fine. Everything, whatever. Just another day. Okay. So yeah, it was a very cool experience to be able to work with him. Like, I'm excited for Media Weekend just because of I'm gonna go out there and hang out with particular people. Can't say anything beyond that. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, Larry.
Hell yeah. Mania Weekend is always fun because you get to hang out with people particular that you don't always get to hang out with. So,
dude, yeah, I'll get to meet some people that fucking I came up like watching and stuff. So that'll be super neat. I'm hoping to play some video games with people and stuff like that. Like, it's gonna be a fun little experience. So.
We love video games here.
Or what are you playing these days?
Yeah, what do you play? Fuck do you play?
I'm on an Xbox One. Lately I've been addicted to that Pal World game.
Oh, okay.
It keeps crashing on me though. Usually I play like Rust. Like, I have my own server for Rust. So I get on there. Like, no one's ever in there. It's just me. I'm like building big ass buildings. Like, I like to build things, but
you ever play Elden Ring, Neil Diamond Cutter?
I don't have that advance of an Xbox yet.
Oh.
Come February, I will have a Series X.
Yeah, Dark Souls. Do you ever play Dark Souls? You ever play a Dark Souls in your day?
Brian, stop trying to shoehorn in your Elden Ring questions.
No. We were just talking about video games, motherfucker.
Brian, stop getting so close to the camera, man.
Brian,
how about Grand Theft Auto 5?
He's excited.
I get excited and I move close.
So is there sorry, Pat, is there any wrestler in particular that helped create the man that is Neil Diamond Cutler? Is there anybody that you as a child just sat in front of a TV and said, you know what, this is the person that I want to be like?
Oh, dude, there's so many that have inspired Neil Diamond Cutter. I don't know who this Neil Diamond Cutler is. Is he related to Jay Cutler of the Bears fame?
Oh, yeah. my apologies. Yes,
he's thinking Brandon Cutler.
I'm thinking Brandon Cutler.
Ah, okay, yeah.
It's
you're not the first one to mess it up. There'll be a bunch of people. What was your question again? I'm sorry.
Is there anybody in particular, like from your childhood, that inspired you to be, the man that you are today, the performer that you are
Neil
today?
Diamond?
Besides Neil Diamond.
Oh,
besides Neil Diamond.
Well, it's funny.
Besides
When all that was brought to me, it was actually Ian Ryan and Mickey Knuckles. They're hanging out one night and watching Saving Silverman. And if you actually take all the characters from Saving Silver and meld them into one, that's me. Like, I'm an obsessed like Neil Diamond fan. That's why my name is the way
it's such a funny fucking movie too.
So are you a fan of Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Oh, he doesn't like that movie.
Yeah, like I'm not big on that movie, but like I just
did you see
not
Get Him
my
to the
style.
Greek?
Like, I like Blackjack and stuff. No.
Get Him to the Greek is like the sequel to
he said,
Brian, stop asking your questions about things that you have seen and played.
He's trying to make a friend. All right, you guys chill out. All right, he's trying to make a buddy. All right.
Stop asking specific Brian questions.
I like you, Neil Diamond.
I like you, Neil Diamond.
Everyone's doing an interview. Ryan's here on a friend date.
What is your favorite Neil Diamond song?
Come on, Sean.
Sweet Caroline. That's it.
It can't be.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Caroline.
Cherry and Monday. That's the only two Neil Diamond songs I remember.
I got one. I don't know how much time we have, but Neil, I have often announced you as the original Prince of the Death Matches. Who all did you beat to become the first ever Prince of the Death Matches?
Who'd you beat?
First round was John Moxley. Second round was Kyle Threat, and third round was Marcus Crane.
Wow.
Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that? And I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know those names, but those names are all fucking legendary in their own fucking right.
That's dope.
Yeah, Kyle Threat was OMG for a long time.
OMG, yeah, legendary, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's my boy.
Dude, you know he didn't like needles and shit?
I know.
You know how he didn't like any of that shit, right? Yeah. We had an unlucky 13 fishhook match. And I was like, go all the way through.
Ooh.
Don't just stab me, like go all the way through. Like I want that shit to dangle flat against my skin.
Woo!
And he's like, I can't do that, man. I'll pass out. I'm like, what? How are you doing deathmatch? He's like, needles, man. Like I can't deal with piercing skin. I'm like, Ian, we got a problem.
That's funny.
We got an issue. And the only thing Ian said is don't go through the lip and don't go through the eyebrow. And I was like, well, cross those two out. Because that was instantly my first thought was like, okay, I got to go through the lip and I got to go through the brow. Because I've had my eyebrows pierced, so that ain't no shit. That's why you see me get stapled in the tongue a lot. Like, I don't feel much.
Would you say that the 700 light tubes match was the craziest match you've ever done? Or would you be able to name a crazier Neil Diamond Cutter match than the 700 light tubes?
Good question.
It's a crazy amount of tubes, and after a while, like you kind of go numb to it all. Like, despite how bloody my back looked, like I expected it to be far, far worse because of how much glass. But I guess because of the years and years of landing on random bullshit, like then my back has just become rubber. Like if you ever watch Wax wrestle in a light tube match, it is insane to try to get color on him outside of his head because he's just so cut up and beat up. You know, he's literally rubber. I looked at him after our log tube cabin match, and I was just like, how the fuck are you alive? Like, how are you not all cut to shit? As I'm sitting there covered in fucking blood. And he's like, I don't know, man. You know, Larry knows. Larry knows how he is.
Wax came through to XPW right before I arrived. He was in XPW. He did the first balcony spot.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you knew him from CCW.
That was my first run in CCW. He was like, DJ Hyde was like stalking his girlfriend who was his manager or something.
Yes, Pat, that was like around the time I first came in too.
Fuck.
And that was Wax jumped off of the what did they have, like the scissor lift?
The
at
fucking the genie.
So he like created his own balcony.
Jumped
off it. Hey, I got a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it was weird matches. Like I had the strangest one I've come across is probably the hardware death match because they had legit like, you know, the nails that have like the little plastic ring around them, so you know where it's marked in the wood for houses. They had those in the ring and on bats and shit. And I looked at Chuck Steen, and I was like, good luck trying to hit me with this shit, dude. Yeah, he's fun. He's a fun dude. I keep telling he's an old man who has no hops.
We need him back.
These are things I've said to his face. So.
I want to see Neil Diamond Cutter versus Chuck Steen at fucking XPW.
I wouldn't be against it.
Hey,
saying,
sorry, go ahead.
We'd have to talk business for sure beforehand, but I wouldn't be against coming to XPW. I really wouldn't be.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah,
you know I would.
Hey, if you just have one thing in common with Brian, that greatly increases the chances of the business getting done. So it's like next time Brian says something you don't know, just be like, yeah. And that'll help you.
But I don't like Call of Duty, man. It looks like
I don't like Call of Duty. I hate Call of Duty. I hate Call. My fiance loves. I'm an Elden Ring Dark Souls guy.
And me, I'm a Smash brother. I like to smash brothers.
I suck at that game.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, well, that's fair.
You do, Larry Bear. I know how you
are.
are.
All right, my final question for Neil Diamond Cutter is: do you in fact enjoy honey?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
When it's necessary in the food I eat, yeah.
You love honey. You would attack for honey. Protect your honey.
If someone's coming after my honey, I would attack him. Yeah.
Fair.
But
thank you, Brian.
Well, now.
Hey, questions from the
Yeah.
audience. What's the worst injury you've ever had besides the broken arm? Well, if that even was the worst.
Probably just when I have like random bits of glass. Like I've been quite fortunate with the injury bug. Major concussions. I've slept on a couple of them. Now I know it's okay that you can sleep on a concussion. But like one time I got hit so hard in my match that I was standing in a kitchen and the linoleum or whatever, like it was made out of that rocky kind of material. So it's like big stones laid out, right? Like an old fashioned country home, I guess. And I literally look up at the two that I'm in there with. We just got done eating ramen noodles. And I look up at them and I'll go, someone needs to catch me. I'm about to pass out. And they go, what? And I was like, no, seriously, I don't have control over my body. And then as soon as I said that, over like a fucking tree in the forest, just square face down into the fucking, like head butted the ground in this fucking rock surface. And they come running over, and like as soon as I hit, I literally get up and I go, I told you motherfuckers I was about to fall. Like I knew what was about to happen. And they were like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm concussed, you idiot. And I walked out front, opened the door, shut it behind me, puked in his bush for about 10 minutes, walked back in and said, I need as much water as you can give me. I drank about 4 liters of water, peed for about 2 minutes, and then passed out for about 12 hours.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah, dude. It was rough. So, yeah.
Your fucking brain was swollen.
Are there any horror movies about honey badgers, says Chase in the chat?
I don't believe so. But in our day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if there is like an I rate, like a B-list movie, like a I-list movie.
Right, that's what we were talking about. Sharknado.
Yeah.
Just go to YouTube and see a honey badger versus a fucking pack of wolverines. That's a horror movie. It's gonna fucking eat those motherfuckers.
I was listening earlier, and it was funny because Larry brought up the one cat who made the video about a honey badger doesn't give a shit. That whole thing. When I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, while I was retired, I made some friends outside of wrestling. And right as I came back, they were still a little bit involved in my life. So I was like, what's an idea for a new like moniker? I can't go by the Prince of Death. It hasn't been relevant in years. And a buddy of mine watched an old highlight reel of mine, and he's like, dude, you need to be a honey badger. They don't give a fuck. And I started learning about honey badgers and how they're solitary creatures and how they're fearless. They don't give a single shit. Like, they'll eat snakes that are some of the most venomous creatures on the planet. They attack full prides of lions for one carcass. They'll fight
necessarily survive, but they will do it.
Can I read a fan question?
Oh no, they survive.
A fan question from Johnny Richter.
Yeah, well, that's what I was. I understand.
I'm sorry, Pat. All right,
I was going to say that I'm completely giving the interview over to the chat because they have much better questions than we have.
Let's go.
We can do this as long as you guys want. I got nothing to do. I got all day.
All right, Brian.
Give them the questions, goddammit. Give them the questions.
Feed him the questions,
Brian. Yeah.
I'm reading him, John. In your opinion, does an ideal death match have to have light tubes, or is it completely okay to have a death match without them? What is your take, Neil Diamond Cutter?
I will give you a match as an example. Me and Bobby Beverly had a carpet strip, gusset plate, and cinder block death match. Jeez. It was probably one of the bloodiest matches on the card. Me and him were covered in blood.
I like the sound of it.
At the end of it, Ian walked up to me. Ian's not real big on like complimenting people unless he really means it, which is weird to say about Ian. But he walked up to me and Bev was like, he said in front of the whole locker room at the end of the night, he was like, that is one of the best death matches I've ever seen that didn't involve glass. And I was like, oh, wow. Neat. Cool. I impressed Ian. Cool. And like I look back at him like no, it was actually a really good match for not having glass and shit. So it just depends on the severity of the weapons, really. Like you can have a carpet strip death match because you're still gonna get cut up. Like hardcore matches, you're gonna get. Yes, you have to have lacerations of some kind. So like a hardcore match, like you get bruises and like busted up insides. Where a death match, you get cut open and blood exposes. Like there has to be some kind of element of death to it.
I guess I was going to ask you that, like, because you used the word extreme before, and we've been talking about Mick Foley. You know, Mick Foley had matches in the Fed with barbed wire, but they were like dubbed hardcore matches. So, like, where does it actually change from hardcore or extreme to death
they
matches?
Weren't really. They weren't even. They weren't calling
body
it death
laceration.
Matches.
It's body laceration, maybe. You can't really say that because they do tax. They've done tax in the E.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you can hide a death match inside of a quote unquote hardcore match. If you look at Triple H versus Cactus Jack, was it 2000 Rumble?
Yeah, 2000.
Where they had a street fight. That was a death match.
Yes, it was.
That was a death match. Yeah, because they had thousands of tacks. Like
he took the tax
you
right
saw
them too, right
barbed wire and tax.
Yeah, barbed wire bat, like that counts. Also, like this is a tiny little thing. Like most people probably don't notice it. But when I watched it, I saw him Mick suplex Triple H onto a pallet, right?
Yep.
If you look, Triple H looks right at his calf, and he stabbed himself on the pallet. He stabbed himself with a piece of wood, and it's all behind the scenes thing. And they pulled a little bit of wood out. So, like the element of like that kind of danger, like that was a full on death match. I had a hardcore match or a last man standing match with Mouse, the one where I was all defensive and shit. That was a death match. There was shit all over the place that were death match elements. It was a last man standing match, so it was technically a hardcore match.
Right.
You know.
They would never call it death match in WWE because it just that they don't even say hardcore anymore. Yeah, it was just like a word. I feel like it was just a word that was too offensive for them to ever use. They would have never called it death match. But what was they? But Mick Foley brought those elements to the hardcore match. They would never. Yeah,
but that's that's the crowd they play to. Like you gotta think about it. WWE aimed for the more child-friendly demographic, where everybody can come. The whole family can come and enjoy it. You don't have to worry about cursing. You don't have to worry about extreme violence or anything like that. Like you can see a show going on where you got AEW that caters more to the 18 to 35 demographic that are single white males that want the violence, that want the extra hardcore people.
In ECW, they weren't calling it death matches. It was just hardcore.
It was
extreme wrestling. They didn't call it a death match though.
Yeah,
it didn't become death matches till like CCW.
All right, more questions from the audience. I got character says.
We could debate that.
Ask him about his opinion on IWA Mid-South. I mean, this could be an endless thing too, but give us a few words on IWA Mid-South for the curious viewers at home, if you don't mind.
Well, depending on where you live and how you came up in the industry and kind of where you got your start at, like for me, IWA was the holy grail. Like the Ted Petty Invitational 2004, like every single person in there became somebody. They all either worked for the Fed or they worked for AEW, like, or ROH. Like they became something, no matter which direction they went. And for me, like I knew Matt Seidel and Delirious, and they tremendous stars. Like I did a bunch of camps of theirs, and really wanted to be kind of like them, just more in the hardcore style, like a Necro Butcher or who's the other guy, like a Sick Nick Mondo kind of type, where I'm gonna do some innovative shit, but I'm gonna be brutal about it. Like I'm coming for a fight. That's my realistic spin on it. So, and then ROH had all their top dudes having fucking phenomenal matches all the fucking time. Like I came up in a golden age of indies, and it was an awesome time to come up because you saw things you would never, ever see again. Because either someone got hurt because they fucked it up, or someone hit it perfectly and they just don't want to try to mock it by trying to do it again. Like what's the West Gorilla Pro? Like when the whole crowd slows down with the match and does the whole thing in slow-mo. Yeah, and going, this is awesome. You know, like all in slow-mo, like that's a special thing that doesn't get reoccurs, you know, and that can only happen in that one moment.
I love that.
So, like, I know for a lot of international people, like going to IWA was like a holy grail for them. You know, I know Joel Bateman really wanted to go and do like a King of Death or one of their double shot weekends, because for him, like, that was the mecca of death matches for a long time in the early 2000s and late 10s, you know, like it was an important place for a while. And just the history that it has on the indies, like it's undeniable. Like they had, you know, Circle Six has the rights to King of Death now, you know, so they have that whole lineage following them, apparently. So, like, I would love to do another King of Death because I would like to be the first prince to become king, but that's a pipe dream.
Hey,
you know,
another question from the audience. Dream opponent, one alive?
Jun Kasai.
Oh, well, there you go.
Jun Kasai. No, that's it.
No hesitation.
No.
Larry, what's your dream opponent for Neil?
Me?
What's your dream opponent for Neil, Larry?
Well, it's me. It's me because y'all might not know this, Pat. You were there to witness it, but Neil is one of my 2 eliminations from the Destiny Battle Royal.
No,
I didn't even get ranked.
I don't know what he's talking about.
500 that year, but I helped eliminate.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I helped eliminate Casanova Valentine with
ribs.
a bunch of guys, and then I eliminated Neil.
Yeah.
It wasn't on camera. That's why they didn't get it on camera. That's why Neil's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you know good damn well I got you from the backside, as Larry does. Okay, I got you, and I fucking just heaved your ass. I did.
I was on a different planet that night. I came out with glow sticks trying to fucking skewer everybody.
It was awesome.
Bye.
Hey, I got one real quick. So Neil, you just did this tour de force.
We woke him up
of the world, and I know that sometimes when you do this, a lot of the times it's about making the right connections and making it worth your while. I'm just gonna ask you flat out: when you got back to the States, were you up money wise, or were you like, damn, that really was a lot of like my personal expense to front all of this travel and everything, and now I gotta recoup? And I asked that because Casanova Valentine just got back from Japan, and when I saw him, he said to me, "Bro, I came back with $3." He said, I got the Ribera jacket and I made my shit, but in my pocket when I landed, I had $3 fucking. So did you come up?
Did you come back Pondo or did you come back Cass?
Just saying, I didn't like keep like certain track of it. Like, to be fair, like I reached out to some people who I know have been wanting to support me for a long time. So I technically, like, I'm trying to not
sponsor.
I'm like a dick.
You were sponsored.
Yeah, I offered them if they wanted to help sponsor me. Like, I plan on trying to hit these places around the globe. You know, if you want, you know, help me out and I will do some sponsoring for you. Wear your shirt, put your patch on my jacket, something like that, you know. And this is for the 1 year. If you want to do more after that, then fine. You know, gave them all the price list of what I would hope to get from each person. Obviously, it could be worked around as long as you contribute something. That's all I ask, you know, and the rest of it would try to come out of my pocket. But for the most part, I haven't really put a whole lot of money into the travel expenses due to them helping out and the the company as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
Let's go.
like for the most
Yeah.
part, I broke even. If not, I came out with a little extra because they took care of me in certain ways.
Nice.
You know, like Japan, they refused to let me pay for any food
Hell yeah.
unless I was alone.
That's the way it
And I was
should
like-
be. That's the way it should be.
In
Everything's
Australia,
so cheap over there compared to America. really is.
you did Dream, and in Japan, and what was the promotion that you did? You did the Sakuda, the dive. promotion.
I did Dude, Where's My Ring in Perth, which is on the west side of Australia. Met up with Clint Margera, went to Melbourne, spent a week out there with Clint. That was a great time. Me and Clint became buddies. He has such a lovely smile, but anytime I see a picture, it's always
Right. Yeah.
and it just makes me laugh because I'm like, oh, dude, I see him smile. He has such pretty teeth. You know, I'll joke around with
I
him
don't
about
think
it.
I've ever seen him smile.
Oh, dude, I
Now
love
that
it.
you
I
mention
love
it.
I love poking the bear. Well, me and him spent like every day walking like I think I got like 70,000 steps in one day. It's like 20 miles.
Sheesh.
And they're just walking around Melbourne, just doing random shit, being bored out of my mind. Like I didn't really spend money in Australia. Just like things were actually pretty expensive in Australia. A pack of smokes is like $25.
Ugh,
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
fuck
Like,
that.
well, that'd be average, like what you pay in New York, like 15, 20 bucks,
Right.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know,
People probably
So
call
I
you a
should have
real
paid
asshole
for my
if you asked for a
karma.
cigarette.
actually, no. Everyone was really sweet in Australia.
Yeah,
But,
Brian, what the fuck, Brian?
Oh,
That's
I'm glad you-
expensive for a
I'm-
pack of cigarettes.
I'm glad.
Get the
I'm
fuck
glad.
outta
Neil, I'm glad you can say you. I'm glad you can say that you did it. You did it on your own, because you know my story with why I'm even an XPW right now was a whole bunch of flim flam with the like, you got to get yourself there, but these people are getting there, So I'm very proud of you, and even though he and I aren't boys after some other shit, I'm proud of guys like you and Cass that can just get it done on your own and don't have to fucking be a part of a tour.
No, I'm not
Maybe
me.
part
I'm
of
only
a-
proud of Neil.
I know you, Earl, and listen. I'm
Well-
proud of the fucking that energy, okay? That energy, that do it your fucking self. The reason that we're Boulevard Bullies.
Yeah.
May that never
Well,
die.
like,
May that never fucking die.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
Everybody say
cigarette.
bye, Neil. Thank
All
you,
right, Neil.
Neil.
Bye,
Bye,
Neil.
Neil.
Thank you.
Bye,
Oh, wait.
Neil.
Wait,
Neil.
does he have to go?
He's got to
well,
go.
no, I don't have to
Neil,
go.
one more thing. I got one
Okay,
more.
I mean,
You
okay.
Well, I have to answer. I have to finish the
Yes.
the Australian Japan thing.
Yes, that's correct.
Japan,
That's
I
it,
wrestled at Light Tiger Pro. That was in a mall in a little tiny pickup truck. It was really funny. I was like, this is a my size ring. Everyone got a good laugh out of it. And then I did DIE for Sakuda, and that's where I put the needles through my
That's it.
hand.
Jesus.
And then I did Providence, where I faced, I can't remember his tag partner's name, but Sasaki was tagging with someone against me. I can't remember who his partner was, and I don't remember my partner's name.
Daisuke
He's the only
Sasuke.
one I
Japanese
remember.
guys, Japanese guys.
Daisuke
Yeah,
Sasaki.
right. He's one of the owners of Freedoms.
Oh.
Suzuki's his last name. I can't remember his first name.
All right. My last question, and then we gotta go. Neil, you also are a former Insane 8 winner. You've also won the Insane 8 tournament. Who all did you defeat to be crowned Insane 8 champion? Who did you beat? Who did you beat in that?
Shit, who did I face in the first round? I think it was Remington Roar. No, it was fuck. What the fuck is his name? Percy Jackson or Percy Drews. Percy Drews. Yeah, I beat him, and then I beat Schlack, and then I beat Orin Veit in the finals.
Do you hear these names, y'all? This is why I'm saying, yo,
This
like
is the guests that we
fucking
bring upon
Neil
the show.
Diamond Cutter is that guy, bro. Like these names are not like, like, and it's important that you fucking say that shit so people hear
Hell yeah.
that you ain't no run of the mill. You ain't no
Facts.
run in the mill.
I had a buddy of mine tell me like I need to have the attitude of I beat Moxley. Who do you beat? And I'm just like, sure.
Sure.
You do.
Sure.
Yo,
Fucking
Larry,
facts.
I'm kind of on some Neil versus Necro. That's what I'm kind of on.
That's what I wanted too. I gotta
David
see it.
versus
You gotta
Goliath.
see it, yeah.
A little David versus Goliath. MAGA Goliath.
So I should come out to his Tom Petty entrance.
Oh,
I won't back down. Just come out. Actually, it's funny you guys bring that up because in Mexico and Japan, they said I was Little Necro because my beard was super long and I just shaved my head, and they were just like, ha 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 ha. He's like Little Necro. I'm just like, ugh.
That's funny. It's a great compliment.
Well, you know something, Neil? More than one of us on this podcast were plugged in, and we can make it happen. We're making Pondo versus Low Life Lou happen. You know, we make things happen.
First time ever.
You know?
My birthday, my day of birth.
See,
all right, enough
wild,
with the birthday.
Man.
Let him live. This is his birthday.
Oh, we say, hey, we're making
I'm
this
only
match
alive
happen.
because of this day.
We always say,
If
hey,
it wasn't for April 4th,
saying, hey,
1990, I wouldn't even be
every
here on
single
this show.
time we announce that we made that
1990.
show happen.
I know.
How old are you, Neil? How old are you, Neil?
I'm 38, bitch.
38.
I was
You're young
5
as
when you
fuck
were
as-
born.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Young as fuck. You go through what I go through, and
Oh
you,
no, that
you say that
age is
again.
no. All right, fair, touche.
Like I'm busted up, bro.
Yeah, he looks like
I'm
he's
busted
80.
up like your girlfriend's
He
vagina.
looks like an 80-year-old version of you,
Neil,
Pat.
come on, Neil. Come on, Brian. All right. The show's over.
We do not. We don't, Neil. We don't.
We love
don't.
you, Neil.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I can't wait
Thank
to
you
see
so much,
again.
Neil.
Hey, are we doing this thing in Colorado? Are we? Are you? Is there a Colorado thing that we're doing? Is that still going on? Do you know?
Are you talking about No Man's Land?
Yeah. Are we doing that or?
Oh yeah. Tournament's still gonna happen. It's just gonna happen later in the year.
Okay.
He's
All
moving.
right. I
He's
knew
moving
that
to
we were.
Texas.
Okay. All right. All
So,
right. Well, I knew we were
yeah.
supposed to see each other then, so that's why I'm asking.
You'll be in Philly
And
this
we'll
year, right?
probably
You'll be in Philly for Brian's
Oh,
birthday
wow.
this year, right?
Yeah,
Not for
because
his
that's all that's
birthday.
happening.
Not for his
Celebration,
birthday.
my birthday extravaganza.
Oh, my God.
I'll be flying in on the 1st, and I think I'll be leaving the following week.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yo,
I'm
I'll
saying,
see
I'm
you at
saying,
RPW. I'll see you at RPW.
Yeah, I'll be at all the shows at H2O. So
I'll see you there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you. Next
No
time I
doubt,
see
Carter.
you, Neil, it's on site. I'm going to give you a hug.
On-site hugs
Okay.
here at Boulevard
Say
Bullies.
hugs.
Okay,
everybody-
all the Boulevard Boys have permission to give me hugs when they see me.
Yes, on site.
Then I'll
hugs.
know
Let's
exactly
go.
who you are.
That's right,
Neil,
the ones
it was a
hugging you.
pleasure, my man. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Neil.
you, Neil. Everybody say thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks
Thank
for coming
guys.
on.
Sweet
You gotta hang
Caroline.
You gotta hang up, Neil. We don't know how to edit
Yeah,
it. You gotta do it on your
you
end.
gotta get
You
out
gotta
of
hang
here.
up.
Good. So good. So good.
Neil.
What if I don't want to leave? What are you gonna do if I don't want to
This
leave?
is the whole rest of the show. This is what I'm doing for the whole rest of it.
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna do for the rest of the time? All right, I'll try to figure it out.
Neil
I know.
Diamond.
I
It's
know
the same
when
problem
I'm
everybody
not
has.
well.
Bye, Neil. It's over now.
Uncle Neil, Uncle Neil.
Uncle Neil.
Get up for Uncle Neil.
Hey.
What a guy. What a guy.
Yo, I love me some Uncle Neil.
Uncle
That was
Neil.
the
We
best.
gotta,
That
I
was
we gotta
love
love
me
the
some
guy.
us.
Yo,
I love us.
you know what? That was dope. I
That was
really support that guest. That was a great guest. Neil Diamond Cutter has always had a little something more in his eyes than the average
Joe.
Joe.
He's a real wild child. Wild
Not to
child.
be
Said
Wild
we
confused
child.
rushed
with
him out of
Jedi
here. We didn't even get
Joe.
to ask him what he's doing soon.
I know.
He
Well,
said
I
he's
mean,
gonna be at H2O.
I guess
he
right.
Didn't,
That's
he didn't
the
even want to
yeah.
leave either. We kind of kicked
Oh,
him off.
He wanted to
Whatever.
chill.
Yeah,
We-
Brian, we got it all in.
right. We got everything in
Well,
because
I
that's
mean, I wanted to have him on this show too forever, but we gotta. I wanna, because I wanna have our alone time. I like to.
So you know what?
decompress.
This was a lot of fun. Should we go back to guests?
Maybe
for
we
Brian's
should.
birthday. For Brian's birthday.
What
should
is
we go
this?
back to guests?
All right.
Do
can
I
we-
hear a
first of all,
shift?
Brian,
A
his
shift
Can
in
we
the
have an
polls.
intervention? Can we have an
A
intervention
shift
first,
in the
please?
polls.
We have an intervention.
I need to have an
I
intervention.
hear. I'm feeling a shift in the polls.
Well, I
here.
don't know, Brian. You
A
get a little.
shifting
You get a
in the
little.
winds.
You get a little excited. You get a
I
different.
always
type
am
of
excited.
energy
I'm
when we
just
have
happy to
someone
be
on.
here, brothers.
All right. So, first of all, we need to, before we make any guest decisions, I need to have an intervention. All right, Brian? When Schlack came on this very program and announced that all of our behind-the-scenes toiling had paid off, and the Lowlife Louie, Madman Pondo, first-time ever match at the Eat the Turnbuckle show, along with potential and a green light for, video creation and maybe even a live pod, which seems to have been coming along as well. It finally was going to happen. Now I knew this a day before you guys did. Schlack called me and told me that we're good to go with Madman Louie. We're good to go with all this stuff. But he goes, hey, don't tell the guy.
Madman Louie.
Madman and that's what that.
But he goes, don't. He tells me.
Who it is, dude.
He tells me.
Louie.
He tells me, don't tell the
Madman and
guys. He tells me, don't tell the guys. And it was really hard because the first thing I wanted to do was tell you guys, we did it. We're ready. Yes.
No,
especially me. Yeah, I know you wanted to tell.
Oh, I
me.
wanted to call.
did it.
Yeah.
What about me? I'm important. I'm an important.
He and I are all the way from the fucking day or before you.
All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to.
We
tell
go back
all
to music, Larry.
I wanted
Before
to tell
Larry,
all
we
of
were
you
playing
guys
music
equally.
together
I wanted to talk to and tell all of you guys equally. Okay.
in the trenches.
So, but I waited, and Schlack decided that he wanted to come on the show and announce it live on the show and surprise you guys too.
He did.
Right. And so, and then this announcement, this is huge, right? This is huge for us. So I go to screen record it and clip it so that we can post it on social media, distribute it. But before Schlack gets the chance to go into the details of the ginormity of what we are trying to accomplish on this day together, so Schlack goes, I'm here to announce that on Thursday, April 4th, and you know what you would think he was going to go on to say is the Blvd Bullies are putting on for the first time ever, blah, blah, blah. They're in the show, blah, blah. But before he gets a chance, as soon as he says April 4th, Brian goes, that's my birthday. That's my birthday. April 4th is my birthday.
There was also another fact. I stated another fact.
Right, which was also completely fucking off the rails. And
that's just the
It.
truth
You've
of
done
the
it
day.
once again.
I know, Brian. Just let him get through it.
You
You
have done it
You
once
Pat,
again.
Get your ball ready. We're about to be bros.
Here today. You have done it once again here today where we're talking about April 4th. Hey, Brian, we love your birthday. We're going to celebrate your birthday.
I'm the biggest Sagittarius fan of us all.
I'm an Aries. So you better be
I'm just
the
talking
biggest
about
Aries
birthdays.
fan.
I'm just talking about birthdays. I'm big on birthdays.
Well, you better become an
so
Aries
listen,
fan.
From here
real
on
quick.
out, we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. And WrestleMania
We're on the
weekend.
road to Brian's birthday.
Right.
This is the point that
Thank
he's
you,
making,
Sean.
bro.
You got
It's
my
all
back.
Brian's birthday in every
That's
promo
it.
package.
All
It's
right,
gonna
not
be
like
fine.
that.
Okay, fine.
It's
fine.
not Eat the Turnbuckle. It's Brian's birthday bash.
Yeah.
I like that.
Extravaganza.
It's 4-4.
Right.
All right, so I guess intervention failed. You guys were no help. Sean and Larry, you've helped this intervention fail. Now the birthday bash, birthday boy, is only going to get worse.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Boy?
We want him on his very best bad take.
Bad take birthday.
All of the takes better
He's
be
the
bad.
bad take birthday boy. Bad take birthday.
Sean likes it.
Brian, when I see you on your birthday,
Happy birthday.
it's on
to
site.
ya.
I'm going to wish you happy birthday on site.
Birthday.
On-site hugs.
Happy birthday.
On-site
It's
hugs.
significant 4-4. 4-4 is very significant. Just ask Jay-Z.
My mother was born on April 3rd, the day before my birthday.
God.
It's a whole special.
Brian,
It's a
will you
whole
stop
special
asking
event.
our guests if they like Elden Ring?
No, that's my favorite game of all time.
Do
damn
you
it.
like
We were talking about
Elden
video
Ring?
games, Patrick.
One ring to
So
rule them all.
what do we feel like with the guests? I think every so often. I think every 2 weeks.
Once a month, dude.
Once a month?
Or two a month.
Do
Two a month is nice.
bi-monthly?
Let's do once a month, but for Brian's birthday, and because we have the Eat the Turnbuckle big show, let's do 2.
Yeah, I like one. I like one a month. I also like us just hanging out, shooting the shit. People seeing us.
We didn't
for
get to
who-
talk
you know.
about Schlack getting stripped.
Can I goddamn finish
Oh my
birthday?
God,
I'm sorry.
Right,
Brian
Schlack
bringing
got
up good points,
stripped.
Sean.
Well,
There's
What
stuff we
happened?
got to talk about.
Sean, did you know that Schlack got stripped?
I heard, and I'm not for it. I'm not happy about it. I think it's
I
bullshit.
can't
Okay,
believe
because that's not
it.
your opinion. You're not paying attention to XPW.
I
wrestling.
understand what's happening, Brian.
Are you sure you understand what's happening? He got stripped.
He hasn't defended the
Schlack
title.
got
Yes, we
stripped.
know.
Protecting with his creative
I'm
control.
an announcer, and I didn't even understand what the fuck was going on. I'm like, what?
You're not paying attention, but Larry doesn't pay attention.
All I pay attention to is what needs to come out of my mouth.
Right, you love to get
So,
to come
Brian,
out of your
can
mouth.
you just break down what happened for us, please? Just simply tell us what happened.
Roberto Negro took it in his hands.
In his hands.
The deathmatch title has not been defended because Schlack has creative control in his contract, and he has decided that every match that he has had the past maybe three or four times was
Doesn't
only
work for me, brother.
Damage
for the
control.
XPW Heavyweight Championship.
Damage control.
So Roberto, the owner of XPW,
Right.
trumped Schlack's creative control, said "fuck you,"
Okay.
and has now took the
So
title
he
back.
breached the contract.
He breached the he said put the contract up his asshole, put the contract in his butt, boofed it.
He boofed the
And
contract. Okay.
He boofed the contract. Maybe
That's
shit it on
exactly
somebody's
what
head.
he did.
He
The
might
one
have shit
thing
it on
that
somebody's
Schlack
head.
wasn't accounting for.
Might have pooped it on somebody's head. Not sure. But
Okay, so-
Come on.
Brian.
I'm just saying. That's what's happening. He's now the title is vacant on the 666th day of Schlack's reign.
Now,
That's
this
not
is
nice.
the deathmatch title, but not the XPW World Heavyweight Championship.
Schlack is still in possession of the heavyweight championship.
So who physically took the belt from him?
Roberto Negro.
So
No one has taken the belt from Schlack.
So he still has the belt. He still has the
Schlack is
belt.
still in possession of said belt,
Well,
Yes.
Indeed.
right? So Schlack is still
Indubitably.
our champion.
Yeah,
so
basically.
until that belt is off of him,
No. Well, Roberto is the owner, and he is like the Vince McMahon. If he takes the belt, that is the rule of the company, and that is
but I mean, if
law.
Schlack has it,
no,
then,
Schlack is still the champ, bro.
Yeah, if it's
until
still-
that title's taken off of him, he's
Yeah.
the champion.
Sean, I'm so glad you brought it up.
yeah,
I'm so glad you brought it up.
yeah,
Let's
he can
face
just
facts.
keep walking around with it. What's somebody gonna
Who's
do?
gonna
I think
take it from him?
the title has to be defended. It has
Well,
to
now
be
I
defended.
think in order to believe
There's
this story,
nobody
I'm gonna think
who
I'm
is
gonna need
fitting.
to see. I think
That's
in,
not
at the
true.
Hart Ballroom.
There's Judge Joe Dredd. There's
Ah.
Masada. There's motherfucking Necro Butcher. There's
Mhm.
I just named you three names that are
You did.
very fitting.
They are. But
And
are they in
deserving.
the hunt for that said title?
Well,
Or
they're
are
going
they
to
in the
find the
hunt?
fuck out.
We
Well,
shall. But until then, Schlack is still the champion.
Nobody's been
February
able to
show
find out.
to start. I
Eric
need it to
Ryan.
open with-
Eric
Oh
Ryan
my God.
is another. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Patrick, but
No, he's
Eric
not.
Go
Schlack
on.
has completely ducked and
What?
forgotten about Eric
Brian,
Ryan's
do you
number
know,
one.
you know you're talking about Schlack here. He's a friend of the program.
Schlack
I know that,
ducked
but we're
Eric
talking.
Ryan.
Schlack
We're
doesn't
in
duck.
canon. We're
so
in
look,
canon. Damn.
Brian
Canon.
said this exact same
In
thing to me,
canon.
and I'm like, ducked. I'm like, ducked. What do you mean
He
ducked?
ducked. Eric Ryan was the number one contender for the King of the Deathmatch Championship, and every time there was an event, Schlack changed the match
Oh, he
because he
changed
had
it?
creative control. Yes, he said, "Oh, I have creative control. Now I am wrestling this person for the
I don't believe
XPW."
that.
And what? This was
I don't
reported
believe
live
that.
on
Go
XPW
back.
television?
This is on the Roberto Negro show and XPW TV. Yes.
doesn't
No,
sound
no,
like
no,
Schlack.
no.
That
Pat
doesn't
and
sound like the
Sean.
Schlack I know.
He smartened me up too. He smartened me up too.
So
That's
there's
what I'm thinking.
actual
This is why-
footage
this
on
is what I
Stream
said.
X-
This is
Brian, I need
if
a
you
second.
paid attention to XPW,
So Schlack's
you
in
would
the back
know
on
the
that doesn't
story.
work
Brian
for me,
pays
brother.
attention, y'all. You've got to
So
pay
there's a
attention.
video. What
There's-
you're
there's-
telling me
Video
on
evidence.
streamxpw.com of Schlack using his creative control power and overturning that said matches. That's what you're telling me right now.
Right.
So if I go on
There's-
streamxpw,
Before
So-
yes,
Yes.
before every match,
I
there's
don't believe it.
promos. Go
You
do
gotta
your,
watch.
go do your
Listen,
history.
listen. A lot
Brother.
of people. Listen, hold on. A lot of people don't understand that XPW's events are supported by a weekly or bi-weekly or whatever.
Dude,
TV
there's a show every
They're
day.
they're episodic.
Rob
They're
Rob
episodic.
Black
And usually
podcast.
they're not just recaps of the events, but they're like skits and shit and like things that move along why things are happening. Brian, watch it.
Rob
I
Black's
watched.
podcast is a 5-night-a-week experience that also includes The XPW. It's a show within a show within a show.
Alrighty then. So
Where do they find this said show?
That's on Spreaker.
StreamXPW.com. It's
No, the
free.
podcast Rob Black Show is Spreaker.
everybody
also
out
free.
there,
Are we gonna repeat bongs, Larry?
If you want more
yeah, come on.
Brian, follow XPW.
I'm probably going live
Boulevard
tonight.
Bullies.
Probably live right now.
If you want more Boulevard Bullies, hit subscribe on the YouTube button. We do a show on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Boulevard Bullies versus the World. Now with 1,000% more Larry Legend. And then Thursday, 8 p.m., the flagship show. Here comes the lady with Jedi Joe. We're doing a fucking watch along and a fucking
Flagship
play
snacks.
along, and we're playing some video games. We're doing the whole thing. So subscribe, become a member, donate to the channel if you are so inclined. We all have.
Wait.
Yes.
What?
I have one last thing to say.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow night live, all holes filled, new episode on YouTube, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Cat Martini and Larry Legend. We're back. All holes filled. I know I said we were doing it a while ago before the Houston show. Things got really busy. Tomorrow night, Wednesday,
Live?
we're going up against AEW. TK,
Live?
here we come. All holes filled.
So tomorrow night you can watch All Holes Filled on Larry Legend's YouTube channel, and then after that you can come right back to this YouTube channel and watch me and my boy Prince Havoc play Drunk GM Mode, which has become a new cult classic in the community. Thursday night, flagship show, 8 p.m. Boulevard Bullies. Here Comes the Lane with myself and Jedi Joe. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on all the fucking social media platforms. You can buy merch on boulevardbullies.bigcartel.com. Larry, I got to tell you this before I sign off. I told somebody, a mutual friend, the story of why I signed the show off saying die slow. And they were in tears laughing about the choice that I made to say it once, get the phone call with the I love you.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, you know what? This is how we're going to sign off from now on. So if you are a hate watcher of this show, do us a favor.
We're being hate watched.
Hit that share. Do not screen record and send along. Listen, and if you're going iPhone to Android, you know the quality drops off. Just share that link. Watch the ad.
Share the link.
And fucking join the discussion. Hate
go
along
Knicks.
My
with
brother has
us.
no idea when you do iPhone to Android. It's
I forgot to ask Neil if he got his fucking Ribera jacket and if he sold it or not.
Enough about Neil Bryan.
I forgot.
And anyway, thank you so much to Neil Diamond Cutter, who is a class act, a dope dude.
NDC.
And, you know, he's just the man. He was a great, gracious guest who we love. And
Shame so flattering.
Shame is all you called that, Larry.
It's a shameful thing. Lobster head. A careless man.
Don't forget to comment on this video if you want your chance to win a trilogy of movies featuring Rush Hour 2 that is not the Rush Hour trilogy.
Yo, suck a
And
dick,
a GCW fucking frisbee.
Hell yeah, dude.
Which
This
I'm
game doesn't
sure,
play
no doubt, that the
sessions with
Nemeth
friends.
brothers used to play fucking Can Jam with. Anyway, thanks for watching
Exclusive
the show.
shit.
Comment below your best wrestling pun to win the shit. And if you are our enemies, I insist, shut the fuck up and die slow. At a time. Boulevard Bullies. Bye-bye.